One thing that can be up for debate is how long you need to veg your plants to get a good yield and good product. I've heard a lot of answers throughout the years. I've heard that it's good to immediately flip into flower so that you can get a good turn on product and just flower fast within like 8 to 10 weeks from seed. I've heard that it's best to do a 1 month grow so that you can keep your plants small and be able to still get a good yield when it comes to harvest time. I have my personal favorite, which is 2 months, and some people will go 3, 4, 5, and beyond. When is the perfect time to flip to flower? What is going on, everyone? My name is CE420, and I am going to be taking you guys down the road, telling a tale, doing a tutorial. How long exactly are we going to be vegging our plants for? What is, in my opinion, the perfect time to veg your plants? And why do I veg my plants that long exactly? Vegging your plants. What is it? What's going on? What are your plants actually doing when they're going through the veg stage? Well, they're putting on vegetative growth. They're doing stems, they're doing leaves, they're doing shoots, they're doing bud sites, they're doing all that great stuff. They're not so much focusing on pistils or the hairs that you'll see on the buds. They're not doing so much trichome development, though they do some. And with the newer strains in the past couple of years, you can even see ones where you do the first serrated leaves out of the seedling stage. They have a good amount of trichomes on them. But that's not really what we're going to be talking about today. How long are you going to veg these plants to get a good yield out of them? The short answer, basically, for me, is 2 months. If you want a good, solid plant, if you want to get everything you can out of that plant, you're going to do it in 2 months. This gives you enough time to train a plant to be super strong. This gives you enough time to mature the plant sexually, which is going to be a key component to getting high quality buds and good bud structure. This is going to, the 2 month veg stage is going to ensure that you can dial in your nutrient regimen so that you don't have any surprises in the future. It's going to ensure that you know the plant and how it grows so that there's nothing triggering you as unusual in the flower stage. Those things are going to be all extremely important. But what about the long answer here? What exactly is it that changes everything? You're going to want to take your space into accommodation. You're going to want to take your time frame into accommodation. How fast do you want this bud to be spit out? You're going to want to take how many plants you're actually growing in a space into consideration. You're going to want to understand how much money goes into growing, how much time and energy goes into catering to each plant's needs. So it's going to depend on a lot of factors. But if you're growing a ton of plants in a small space, let's say you're growing in a 5x2, I'll just use that for an example because it's in the closet right behind us, and I grew like 32 plants in solo cups, I won't be able to do a long veg if I decide to grow that way. It's going to depend very heavily on how you grow as a gardener. If you want to grow that way and you actually have the plant limit to do so, I can only grow 12. So if I wanted to grow 12 plants in there, all in solo cups, I wouldn't be able to do a very long veg time. I would only be able to do like a week of veg time, and then I would have to flip it right into flower so then it could get its final vegetative growth and its stretch on and get a bunch of those colas. And if you're trying to grow for a variety while missing out on the yield, that's perfectly fine. If you want to grow one plant and make it absolutely huge, you're gonna need a longer veg time, but the payoff is a lot better. You might be able to get a pound and a half, 2 pounds out of the 5x2, whereas me growing right now, I might only be able to get like 13, 14 ounces, which is still pretty good, but it's not exactly what someone would be able to do if they had a single monster plant. But general good rule of thumb, if you want to grow like a normal sexually mature plant, I'm going to go with 2 months. If you want to grow plants that are going to be super small, but have good quality bud and also high turnover With the variety, you're going to want a lower veg stage. So you're going to want like less than a month, which is going to keep your plants super small, super stout, and be able to have more space for more plants. And if you're growing a single plant in a 5x2, just for example and argument's sake, you're probably going to be pushing 3 or 4 months, which is an absolutely astronomical amount of time to be growing a plant. Because if you push your plant and you're growing a 4 or 5 month veg time, you have to add an extra 2 to 3 months of just flowering. That's almost a year of just growing a plant. So it's all going to cater to you. It's all going to cater to how much you want to grow and how many plants you're growing. And it's also going to depend on what kind of variety you want. There's a ton of factors that go into grow time, veg time, flower time, all of that good stuff. And there's not one way to do it. There's just a lot of different ways to do it the right way, which I think is a beautiful thing, and I think we can all agree on that. And with that note, I will see you guys next time. I have been CE420. Questions, comments, concerns down below. Thank you very much.